All right, thanks, Samantha. Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see all of your beautiful faces. This session is Literacy Across Content Areas with WeVideo. My name is Stu Jernigan. I'm an education specialist with WeVideo. I'm a former high school humanities teacher. I taught in the Bay Area, and then I led professional development for the San Francisco Unified School District. I launched our digital storytelling program. So I've worked with a lot of teachers on designing and implementing digital storytelling projects using WeVideo. And now I create a lot of content for WeVideo to help educators implement media projects in the classroom. So this is sort of our agenda today. We're going to kind of follow this format. We'll start, so inspire, create, apply. So we'll look at some project examples related to enhancing literacy with video creation. And then you'll have an opportunity to create and learn some editing skills. And then we'll have some time for you to apply what you learned and start with sort of like media project design and publishing assignments. Okay, so our objectives center around understanding how multimedia and creativity connect to literacy, being able to animate images and text to create better videos, to utilize the assignment ideas library, and then leverage WeVideo to achieve and enhance literacy outcomes. Okay, so inspire. So essentially any traditional writing project can easily be turned into a media project. Here we have several examples that align to the different genres of writing within the Common Core state standards for literacy: personal narrative, informative, persuasive, and then research, which any of those genres can fit within. And then also, so when we talk about literacy, right, we're talking about foundational literacy skills: reading, writing, speaking, listening, but then we're also talking about digital literacy skills and media literacy skills, right? And we know that students, a lot of the content that they encounter in the world happens online, it happens on social media, and oftentimes happens in the medium of video, right? So when we teach students to read and decode, we're wanting to teach them how to read and decode text, but we're also wanting them to teach them to read and decode in the other mediums in which they encounter information, including video, how to analyze, how to read video critically, how to view video critically, and understand the different techniques that people use with film to persuade, and things along those lines. And so we also, just like we want them to learn, part of that sort of process within teaching foundational literacy is teaching both reading and writing. Within media, it's teaching both how to view media critically, but also how to create and communicate with media. So that's sort of the frame that we're using for this. So a couple different projects that I wanted to highlight, and these are by no means exhaustive. One is this personal narrative project. It's a Where I'm From project. We talk about this in our intro session, so I'm not going to share the example, but it is here for you if you want to check it out. And the idea is that students create a Where I'm From poem, and then they turn that into a video, pairing a voice recording of themselves reading their poem with images, video clips, and even potentially music and sound effects to really bring the poem to life. And that can be a really great project to implement in the beginning of the year as you're building community in your classroom and helping students to learn about each other and get to know each other and build a sense of comfortability and confidence in the classroom that's going to lead to greater learning over the course of the year. So you can check that out. It's a beautiful example if you do want to check that example out on your own time, but some of you may have already in the intro session. Another example I wanted to share comes from these KQED Youth Media Challenges, which we'll look at in a moment here. They offer 3 different challenges. One of them is called Call for Change. And I'm actually not sure, it'll actually say on the project page for this one whether it's a Show What You Know or Call for Change. But in this case, this is a student who made a science documentary, and I think this would be a good one to watch. So let's take a look at this one. I think this is a really powerful example of a student making media about something that's important to them. And instead of just turning a paper into a teacher, turning it into a piece of media that they can share with a broad audience and amplify their voice on an issue that matters to them and potentially make an impact, potentially educate people about this issue and change their behavior. So let's check it out. So this is the Youth Media Challenge Showcase page, and we'll talk a little bit about these Youth Media Challenges more in a minute. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's check out this video example.
So Stu, so we're still seeing your slide.
Thank you so much. Sorry
No
about
worries.
that. I'm just gonna refresh this. Okay, cool. Thanks for catching that. So yeah, this is the Youth Media Showcase page, and we'll check out this example here.
On November 15th, 2022, our planet gained its 8th billionth citizen. As the population of Earth increases, so does the amount of food that we, as a society, need to keep us going. Without the ability to devote much new land to agriculture, farmers, both industrial and small scale, are using synthetic fertilizers to artificially increase crop yields. Unfortunately, synthetic fertilizers are among the major contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. That means while they are helping us grow more food, these fertilizers are having a significant impact on the progression of global warming. Thankfully, there are solutions. We can maintain crop yields by using natural methods such as crop rotation to uphold nutrient cycling within the soil. Crop rotation is planned sequences of crops over time on the same field. Rotating crops provides productivity benefits by improving soil nutrient levels and breaking up crop pest cycles. Another environmentally conscious way of farming is to lower the amount of synthetic fertilizers used by supplementing them with endomycorrhizal fungi. This microscopic fungi forms a symbiotic relationship with the plant's roots, causing them to uptake nutrients better, therefore requiring less fertilizers. Although this action isn't fully getting rid of fertilizer-based nitrous oxide emissions, it can still help mitigate the disastrous effects of global warming.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so yeah, awesome. Loving the reactions in the chat. Yeah, I love participation, encourage interaction. So please use the chat as much as you guys want to talk about anything that we're covering today, or anything related to media projects in the classroom. So yeah, that's just an incredible example that was made by a, let's see, that was made by a high school student in Concord. Incredible example, right? Like she's obviously like super informed. She's done her research. She seems to have checked out her sources, made sure that her sources were valid, and then she's presented information in a really comprehensive, compelling, and clear way. So a lot of the skills that go into writing and research, right, are being demonstrated in the course of this film. And then she's proposing a solution to this grand problem that we have that obviously is super relevant to both our current generation and the generations that follow. So I thought that was a great example. The KQED Youth Media Challenges that I was referencing, they have 3 different youth media challenges: Call for Change, Show What You Know, and First Person, that also align with these 3 genres from the Common Core State Standards for Literacy. And I'm just going to show you what that sort of looks like on their end. They have got resources for teachers and students. If you're a teacher, you can check out these resources. You can check out any of the 3 youth media challenges that you're interested in. Let's say it was the Call for Change. I know they're doing a big push with that one with the elections coming up, and they want youth to feel empowered to share their voices and their perspectives around the election and what they think politicians should be talking about and addressing. And so they have resources for audio projects and video projects. If you go to, let's do the video project. They've got like the standards, should be 300 to 500 words. Video should be 1 to 3 minutes in length, etc. They've got the project roadmap. So they've got all of these They've got like sort of the different steps and graphic organizers and activities needed to facilitate this activity in the classroom. So for example, they start off by having students analyze examples of other youth created media for that challenge. And then they have this graphic organizer to help students decide on the topic that they want to create media about. So these are a really great example of also, weaving project-based learning and personalized learning into your classroom and really amplifying student agency by giving them the opportunity to create media, to write about and create media about issues that are important to them while they're still learning all the foundational literacy skills that we need them to learn in our classrooms. And then ultimately, when they finish their videos, they have an opportunity to share their media to the Youth Media Challenge page. That's optional for them. But here is the showcase page just to show you. And so then this will have media from youth across the country and the world who have submitted media to this page. So it's an incredible way to really build in a broad, authentic audience to these media projects. And I do want to show you that these projects, so from within WeVideo, when you log in to WeVideo at wevideo.com, as a teacher, you'll see this option for assignment ideas. And so this is a library full of media projects and activities for student-created media in the classroom. All the projects that I've shown so far and will show are in this library, including the 3 KQED Youth Media Challenges. So if you wanted to implement one of those in the classroom, like let's say you wanted to do the Call for Change one, you can assign this to your class by simply saving to your class as a draft. And then when students log in, they can navigate to their class. And once you've published, right now it's in draft form, but once you've published, you can edit the assignment. And then once you've published, when students log in, they'll find this in their class. And then this will just jump them right into the editor. And the nice thing here is that I'm in the wrong account to demo this. Maybe I'll show this to you later, but you can open, as a teacher, you can open up the assignment and you'll have all of your students' media projects right there. You can open up the editor and see what they're doing. When they turn it in, you'll have all the finished projects in one place. So it just organizes everything for you and gives you a window into what they're creating. So that part is great.
I just have to say that the assignment ideas are amazing. I know the ones that aren't by organizations are made by teachers. Some of them even include like Google Slides to go to start your project and present with the class. Or when you do assign it to your class, they also sometimes even include a media bin of templated projects so that your students are just kind of dropping in for those beginners and our elementary folk. If you don't have your classes set up in ClassLink, in WeVideo, we have directions on that on our teacher intro page as well. Thanks, Stu.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for jumping in with that. And I can show you guys, I just got into an account where I can show you. So here I'm in a teacher demo account. So this history biographies assignment. If I review progress, right, this is one where students already turned them in. I've got 8 turned in. I can review the videos and watch them here. And then they're all right here for me to review in one place. And then I can also return them to the student with feedback, which is cool. And then for another project where I've got, let's see if I have one where I've some in progress that I can show you. Yeah, here. So here's one in progress. So I can actually open the editor and see what the student is working on. And I can also, I can also leave comments too. So I can drag the playhead and leave a comment for the student. And then they'll see, when they open the editor, they'll see a little dot here and they can check out the feedback and respond. So you guys can interact with students within the editor. And just since we're talking about that, and you mentioned this, Samantha, she mentioned some of the assignments come with a pre-built template to make editing more efficient for students. So here's an example of that one. This is a design your name project where students just create a motion graphic with their name in a way that expresses their personality visually. And so this one comes with a starting block. So you can choose whether to include this or not when you edit the assignment. And so this is just like a pre-built template that students can use to quickly edit, or they can delete it and start from scratch if they want. Okay, cool. So a couple more projects that I wanted to feature here. We won't watch this video, but just sort of another example, a collaborative research project where students worked in small groups. They chose an issue that was relevant to their community. This particular group chose an issue related to food and health and growing your own food and like green space in their community. And then they went and like interviewed people on like town council and other people that work on this issue. And then they put together this video that was sort of like a persuasive research-backed video advocating for green space in their community. So you can check that out if you're interested. Here's another one from the Assignment Ideas Library, Amazing Animals. This is just taking like a traditional animal reports assignment, right? Where students write an animal report, maybe they present it to class, and instead they still do that. They still write the report, but then they turn it into a short film or short documentary about that animal that then can be shared with an audience. And then the last one, and this connects to our creation portion of this, sort of leads us into the creation portion of this workshop. Our March Creative Challenge is live. We are launching creative challenges every month. They launch on the 1st of the month. You can find out what the creative challenge is for that month by going to this link, wevideo.com/creative challenges. I'm just going to play this video on silent while we're talking, so you can kind of see what this might look like. So this one's for celebrating Women's History Month, and it's inviting students to create media about women who have been leaders in their field. And so there's like an example video featuring a bunch of different female leaders that they might decide to create media about. Everything you need to run this challenge is here on this Women's History Month Creative Challenge page. And students can submit their media to this Google form, or you can submit it on behalf of students. If they fill out the form, they just need to include your email instead of their own, so we can contact you if you won. Yeah, we pick a winner every month, and then we send you prizes, WeVideo swag, and then if you allow us to, we announce that on social media, and we can like feature your students' media on social media, or like post a picture of your class to social media or whatever, announcing that you all won and celebrating you and giving you recognition. So each challenge comes with an example video. Here's one about Lorraine Hansberry, an assignment in the Assignment Ideas Library, which I'll show you in a second, a tutorial video that shows you how to create a video like this one here, this animated biography, and that's what we're going to be working on today, and then a submission form to submit the media. And so I think people have been having a lot of fun with these. And oops, sorry, I didn't mean to stop sharing. I meant to exit out of something. And so, like I said, the Women's History Month assignment is here in the Assignment Ideas Library. And as Samantha mentioned, this one comes with slides that you can either use to facilitate this project, or students can use as sort of like a self-guided resource. And so that just walks them through the process of like learning about the project, checking out some example videos of what they might create. Here's one about Frida. This could also be like an animated biography that's published as a GIF instead of a video, like this example. A rubric that they can analyze. They can like assess the examples they looked at to get familiar with the rubric. Some handouts for conducting research, choosing the person that they're going to research and conducting research, taking notes, and then a storyboard for planning their video. and then a tutorial video to show them how to create, and then ultimately they create their video and you guys can watch it as a class. Okay, so that is the March Creative Challenge. I encourage you all to participate. Again, people have been having a lot of fun, and we've had winners so far for January and February, and that's been really great. I'm going to keep us moving into the creation portion of this project, but I do encourage you guys to check out the Assignment Ideas library, and hopefully we'll have some time at the end for you to do that and see what projects you might want to teach in your class. Okay, so I want to walk us through creating a project. And for this one, we're going to use this assignment called Author Study, which is in which you students would create a video biography about an author, a favorite author, or an author that maybe you're all reading a book together in class, and you want them to learn a little bit about their life and sort of like the context within which they're writing the story that you're reading. So here's an example. I'll just show you like the first minute or so. Oh, it's 1:18. Okay, we'll take a look at this example real quick, and then this is what I'm going to show you how to create today. Okay, so yeah, the idea behind this, project, author study, is that students are learning about the author, learning about the context of their life, right? Lorraine Hansberry wrote *A Raisin in the Sun*, which is like a play that deals with civil rights and housing issues. The title comes from Langston Hughes' poem *Harlem*, right? And so there's connections to other literary works within the Harlem Renaissance. And then it gives students an understanding of like, okay, this is a person who's been working on civil rights sort of their whole life, and gives them a little bit of a better idea of like where the context for their play comes from. So, okay, so to create a video like this, and this the skills we're going to talk about today relate to other projects like history biographies, animated books, and history documentaries that are also in the Assignment Ideas library. I'm not going to have you guys log into a demo student account for this. You can just log into your own account. And we won't, let's see, I guess we could do a quick storyboard. We'll try to do a quick storyboard activity. So I'll share this storyboard template with you. And you could do this. This is also like the same example that we used for the Women's History Month Creative Challenge. So you could decide to create a video about an author or any person from history, or you could decide to do this for women's history. Pick a significant woman from history who's had an impact in their field to make a video about. I shared a storyboard template in the chat, so go ahead and open that. And just like write down in the what you'll say category, you can write down like for the title slide, just like who are you going to make your film about? and then just give us like 3 facts about that person. So if you want to just like look up 3 facts real quick about that person, go ahead and do that and write those in here. And then I'm going to walk you through the steps of finding the visuals that we'll use for this video. So go ahead and like take just a couple minutes to decide on a person, write their name down under a title slide, and then write 3 facts down about them. Just simple facts, nothing too involved. I realized I was not showing the storyboard screen. Apologies for that. But I was just saying, like, in the column that says, what will you say, write your 3 facts down there and write their name here. If you want help deciding on somebody too, I put a link in the chat to a web page that has a bunch of key figures from women's history, and that is linked. That page is linked in the slides that I showed you from the Women's History Month project, where it says conduct research. So that's intended for students to be able to use to choose somebody to do their research about. Okay, and then I'm gonna move us into the next step, and it's okay if you're still like figuring out who it is or figuring out your facts. You can kind of like, you'll have an opportunity to find more facts as we move through this. So the next step, so for this one, instead of like you could just upload so the next step is to find some images of this person that we can use for the project. We won't worry too much about like copyright for this because we're just practicing. We're not like we're not going to publish the videos that we make today necessarily. But so if you can just like Google and find like 3 images about that person, you can set a filter when you use Google Images to look for media that has like the right copyright. Let me see if I can show that. So like if I were looking for images just using Google for Lorraine Hansberry, you can select user rights to be commercial or Creative Commons. So if you want to select those filters, you can. But just find 3 images and download them. And then we are going to use this site called remove.bg. You don't have to remove the background, but for the style I want to show you how to create today, we're going to remove the background from these images. So there's a site called remove.bg. I'll put a link to this in the chat. And this is an amazing magical tool that when you upload images to it, let me get an image here.
Shameless plug for Adobe Express because they also have this feature. And so if you guys have been in that session or know what I'm talking about, you could also go there to do the same action.
100%. Great tool. I love it. And it has the background removal as well. So yeah, so anyways, this tool removed FBG. I uploaded the photo, it automatically removed the background. If you need to like erase, like let's say I wanted to get rid of this section, you can do that. So you can like fine tune if you need to. I didn't actually mind having that. So you can also restore parts of the image if it took something away you don't want. So just do that with 3 images and then go ahead and download those 3 images with the backgrounds removed. And I'll get us set up for the next step. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next step. Again, if you're still working on that step, no worries. You can kind of you can always come back to that and find your images and get the backgrounds removed. The next step is going to be to log into WeVideo, and so here I am on the home page, and then you can just go ahead and click Create to start a video, or you can use the drop down to select like the specific type of project that you want to create. So we're going to create a video, so I'll just click Create, and it's going to open up the editor. Just like a quick orientation of the editor, you've got the preview window over here on the left. That's where you can, or like the media bin, sorry, not the preview window, the media bin. That's where you can access media and gather your media. The preview window is over here on the right. That's where you can watch your project once you've started editing it and see how it looks. And then you've got the timeline down here, and that's where you actually do your editing and build your sequence or build your video. So right now, the project bin doesn't have any media in it yet. We're going to get some media in there. You've got your uploads folder, and that's where you've got all the media that you've uploaded to WeVideo, not just this project, but any project, or just via the uploads page on WeVideo. And so from here, or the project bin, it doesn't really matter. Either of those places, you have an option to import media. So we're going to go ahead and import those 3 images that we removed the background from. So I'm going to do that now. You can go ahead and do that as well. So I named my pieces of media before uploading. So you can see here like LH for Lorraine Hansberry 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have you guys add those to your storyboard. But that's okay. I think so. Before like having you build your media, we had you plan out what you're going to say. I'd have you add the images that you want to use like in the order matched with what you're going to say. here. So you can do that if you want. But
Stu,
yeah.
can you briefly tell us, like at the bottom of this document, the shot angles, what those abbreviations stand for?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see. Actually, I have speaker notes on some of these, but not on this one. I'll add them so that you guys have that. But shot angle, and this, I need to fix this too. I apologize. I'll change this, but it should be shot size. But it refers to like a wide shot, a full shot, which is like head to toe, a medium shot, which is like waist to head or chest to head, and then a close up, which is like our close shot, which is like close in on the face. Our last session, we talked all about like shot sizes and how they're used in film for different storytelling purposes. And so when like filmmakers, when they plan to shoot scenes, they storyboard those scenes, and they storyboard specifically like what type of shot they want to capture at different moments in the story. For example, like a close-up shot focusing in on someone's face is used to enhance emotion or show their reaction to something, whereas a wide shot is showing the scene where the action takes place. Full shot head to toe is used for action. Medium shot chest to head is used for like dialogue. Yeah, we get into that in the other session, but that's what that stuff is for.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I am going to now, so when you're using images as opposed to video, you can actually select multiple images at once on my Mac, it's holding down Command and selecting the three. And then you can drag them down to the video one track together. And the advantage of that is that instead of like, it's quicker, instead of just like dragging, each individually, but also you get this little pop-up that asks you, how many seconds do you want these images to be on screen? You could edit that. I'll just stick with 5. And then it asks you, do you want to apply the Ken Burns animation? So I'm going to leave that checked to apply the Ken Burns animation so you can see what that looks like. So now we have our 3 pieces of media here. And you can see that they're like slightly animated. That's that Ken Burns effect of just like panning across the images. Okay. So, okay, cool. So the next thing we need to do is add backgrounds. So I'm going to add another track here. And that's my video 2 track. I'm just going to move this down. And then I'll actually just move these images up to the video 2 track. So you can just like click and drag to highlight them all and move them. So we want to put some background videos below that track. And just so you guys know, these slides show these steps that we're talking about. So you can always review these or use these to do this with students. So we're here. So we're going to use these search terms: colorful backgrounds, geometric backgrounds, animated backgrounds. There are lots of other search terms you could use too. You could feel free to make up your own. But to find some cool backgrounds for these images. Oh, oops, I'm in uploads. That's why it's saying no images. So you need to click on videos to open up the stock media library, and you can search colorful backgrounds. So you can kind of look through here. I've also favorited a bunch of media, so you can click the heart to favorite media, and then you'll find those under favorites here. So you can always expand your favorites and find those that way too. So I'm just going to drag these down and to the video 1 track underneath our image. And then as long as this clip is selected and highlighted in purple, I can drag my cursor to the edge and I can click and drag to trim the clip. And so I'm just going to do that with a few images here to create our different backgrounds underneath these images. Okay, and then we get this cool kind of effect here with our photograph animated over these like really neat backgrounds. So again, you could just do this with like the full photograph, like a Ken Burns documentary, a historical documentary, or you can do this to make it a little bit more like visually interesting. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to get to this step, and then I'll show you a couple more things you can do. Oh, unless, do we end at 20 after?
No, 2:30.
2:30? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I'll just take a second to gauge where you guys are at. Do you need more time to kind of work on this step, or do you want me to move on to the next, showing the next thing?
See some thumbs up. I think we're good.
Me to move on? Okay, cool. All right, so then next step for creating this project would be to add some text. And so you can do that by just searching our text library. You've got title text, and so you can click see all to expand that. There's a lot you can do with, like, we have the static text. There's a lot you can do with that to animate that. I like to use that a lot. We also have these motion text blocks that you can use. I used this trailer slash for this project. And so I'll just trim that down for this is like for the title. And by double clicking on the text box here in the timeline, I can open up the text editor. Okay, and then just kind of move that like where we want it. You can change the font. Maybe we'll try, yeah, I think this will be a good one for this. Will be one. You can change the font color. You can use any of the pre-selected, or you can kind of like customize, find your own here. And then you can move, click and drag and move in the preview window here. And you can also expand the text box to change the text size here. So I used that for the title, and then I used the subtitle option here to communicate information. And again, I'll just trim that down to match my photo. And then I like to expand this to fill the screen. Okay, and then again, you can edit the text. So this is where we would pull. Did I spell that right? No, I don't think so. I know I spelled it wrong on the video example. This is where we'd pull the information from the storyboard. And you have like rich text editing there too, you can play around with. Once I've got this kind of like set up the way I want with it expanded and everything, then I can copy and paste using the shortcuts on my keyboard, and then just edit this to say, you know, what I want. Okay, so so that's sort of building our story. The next thing I would do is add music, and you can search audio and use the stock media library. You can search like genres of music or like different emotions that you're looking for. You can click on them to preview. Okay, and then when you find one you like, you can just click and drag it down. Click and drag it down to the audio track down here. And again, you can also add more audio tracks if you need to, and those will show up down here. Right now our song is going to play way beyond our video, and then we're just going to have music with no images. So we just need to split the audio and cut it down so that it is the same length as our film. And then you can also add like a fade in and fade out. So if I double click on this audio clip, I'll have options to change the volume of the clip or add a fade. I can fade in for 1 second or more or less. I can also choose to fade in from like 10%, start at 10%, fade up to like 75 instead of 100, and then out from 75 to 0. So you can kind of play around with that as well. So now basically like we have this project that's basically done. So I'll just show you what this looks like, and then I'll show you a couple more things we could do with it. Okay, pretty cool, right? Like I'm feeling pretty good about Lorraine Hansberry. I'm excited to read her book. She seems pretty cool. And that was actually like pretty quick and I think like not too complicated. We could do a couple more things with this if we wanted to like animate this film. We could use transitions, and there's some pretty fun ones in here. Like I could throw a swap transition. And so to use transitions, you just click and drag them down in between the media or at the front or end of the media. But like I could add a swap transition to these ones in between these two clips, and then that would look like that. I could throw like a crossfade down below the to the media down below. I'm just gonna zoom in here. I would just need to like adjust this so that sometimes it when it adds the transition, it doesn't get it exactly where you want it. But so I would just adjust that. So you can play around with transitions. And then the other thing you can do is you can animate, you can like custom animate. So like this one, she starts kind of in the middle. Maybe I want her to start on the left and maybe like do something a little more custom. So I can change the start position. So just to be clear, by double clicking on this piece of media in the timeline, it opens the effects panel, and then I have all these options here, one of which is animation. So I can like custom animate this and have it look like this. So that's kind of a fun thing to play around with. And then you can even do things like if I split this clip, this is pretty cool. If I split this clip, then like the animation's going to stay the same on both of these. So notice both of them are starting here and then ending. So then I can change the animation on this one, and I can say, okay, let's see, I want it to start, or sorry, I want it to end where the other one starts. So I'm gonna match the scale. I'm not sure how to explain this exactly, but I'm gonna make the X and Y position and scale on the start and end the same here. And then I'm going to change the start position on this piece of media. And then I'll just trim it to change like the speed at which this animation happens. And then we're going to get this like cool fly-in effect, and then it's going to animate the way we originally had set it up. That's a little fast, so I'm just going to make this clip a little longer so you guys can see that. Something's not quite right there. Negative 662, negative 278, and 1.49. I'm just going to fix this real quick. I think it's supposed to be negative, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So then we get this cool thing. And we could add like a slide. This is the last thing I think I'll show you guys. A slide transition to have the slide out. And then that whole thing would look like this. So yeah, so those are kind of like the tools you would need to create a video like that. And I think you end up with like a pretty visually dynamic, fun video, and it's not like too complicated. And that can be a really fun way to get students to learn about an important historical figure, and then create media about them, and have this sort of piece that they're excited about, feel proud of, and can share with others.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Stu. Guys, if you haven't already, please click on that exit ticket in the chat. We appreciate your time. I did mine on Beyonce, so maybe I'll share it with
Nice.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. See you in the next session. Bye, Stu. Thanks. I'm going to stop
Thank
the
you.
recording.
Appreciate it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to share